A really incredible storm, intensifying dramatically in the last 24 hours. Last night, just exploding in the Gulf of Mexico, tapping into that warm Gulf water. Look at the satellite loop this afternoon with a well-defined eye. One of the strongest hurricanes ever to make landfall, not only in Florida, in the U.S. This one will go down in the record books, and it continues to leave a swath of damage as it moves inland. It made landfall roughly about an hour and a half ago and moving inland across the Panhandle now. This is still a very dangerous storm, the strongest winds in this area right here on the right side of the track as they continue to push huge amounts of water in along the coastline. And there's a look at the radar coming out of the Panhandle. You can see just to the east of Panama City was the landfall point. Still a well-defined eye there, and even some of the outer feeder bands pack winds of hurricane gusts, and that's going to continue right through the early evening hours. Here's the very latest. The winds at 150 miles an hour, moving north-northeast at 15, so it's picking up its forward speed, Category 4. It was almost a Category 5 at landfall, just within a couple miles an hour. That'd be 157. Here's the track, still a Category 2. That is at 8 p.m. tonight. Winds at 100 miles an hour, and then it moves into the Carolinas, where it becomes still a big wind maker, but torrential downpours cutting across Georgia and the Carolinas, and then exiting the coast just north of Hatteras, and then moving off into the North Atlantic after that. This storm still has a lot of real estate to cover, and it's still going to do a lot of damage up through the Carolina coastline. Another look at the radar, and you can see that that well-defined eye continues to push inland, and it still is very well-defined, even though it's lost its energy source, the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. You can also see some of the bands that stretch all the way down through Tampa and all the way back down into Fort Myers, too. Going to keep an eye on that because the computer models last night and earlier today suggest that we may pick up some rainfall here as that pushes toward the east. It won't be anything like what they're dealing with up in the Panhandle, but it is still a very serious situation that we'll watch closely the next few days. So that's the very latest from here, and of course we'll have much more coming up in a few minutes.